We don't get paid initially for who we are. We get paid for what we can do. Okay? So when you get paid for what you can do, you've got this identity foreclosure plus this performance myth.
We spend years performing, and somewhere along the climb, we forget the person. When the checks hit, the mask hardens.
You start believing what you're performing. Your own identity becomes the expense.
But what happens when success bankrupts identity?
I don't know who I am. Fake it till you make it. You foreclose on your own identity. We've seen you preach thousands of people. You've coached Division I football for
that's where I met you.
20 years.
Yeah.
None of that is who I am. That's what I do.
Today, Dr. Joe Tubman sits at the table. No armor, just truth. He talks the pain most of us hide at night.
Yeah.
The pain at night is, who am I?
Yeah.
And you can't get on a national platform and say, I don't know who I am until...
Dr. Joe.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the table, man.
Man, thank you. I finally made it to the table.
Finally made it. First time.
Yes, sir.
We don't need to introduce you, man. You are Dr. Joe Tubman. And I want to get straight into it. You have a new book coming out called The Fight to Find Yourself.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say thank you up front, bro, for this book. Because you mentioned in your book, and I have notes here.
Yes, sir.
Because I was like, oh, this is good. You mentioned in your book that many people are pretending and do not know their true selves.
That's a statement that came from the truth, me. I pretended for a very, very long time. And I think pretending comes from, it's sad to say, but we have even preached it, fake it till you make it. And I'm not blaming that on the church. I'm not going to blame it on the church, but that has been a statement, a colloquialism from our church, to fake it till you make it. And here's what we look at. When you do that in any realm, whether it's in church or whether you do it in your family and your personal life, you foreclose on your own identity. Foreclosure is a term that I know you are very aware of when it comes to money. Foreclosure is simply, I don't have the money to take care of the asset. So if I don't have the money to take care of the asset is gone.
Yeah.
The same thing with my life. If I don't have the attention and the focus to pay what needs to be paid for my identity, I foreclose on who I'm supposed to be, and I end up becoming what I create to have some form of sustainability within whatever culture I'm trying to stay in. For instance, whether it's I want to look a certain way with money or with my clothing. I want to present myself a certain way with females or males.
Yes,
we put on an identity, and at the expense of losing who we are, and some never finding who we are. So here's what happens. Here's what happens. Here's what happens, Anthony.
It's going to be good today.
Here's what happens, man. You can become absolutely successful pretending.
Yes, sir.
You can be successful pretending.
Yes, sir.
You can work hard and fall into a system that is working for you.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happens, you become successful because we don't get paid initially for who we are. We get paid for what we can do. Okay? So when you get paid for what you can do, you've got this identity foreclosure plus this performance myth married together. I gotta perform to be known, but what's becoming known? The performer, not the person. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to keep the performance up, or I'm not gonna get paid. I have to keep the performance up, or who I am is eventually gonna come just blasting down because I've not discovered that yet, all right? So the performance myth, I got to keep performing, and then eventually you start believing what you're performing, all right? And I'm saying this from personal experience. I'm not talking about anybody. You start believing what you perform, but you got to perform to live. You got bills to pay. You got family to take care of. You got your own desires, your own wishes, and you got to work for it.
Yeah.
But sometimes your own identity becomes the expense. It's at the expense of not knowing who you are. So you can pretend successfully get rich,
Yes, sir.
buy homes,
Yes, sir.
have everything, stocks. I mean, have it all, but not have you.
Bro.
And so this book is about how do I navigate from the world that I've built that is really not me, but I'm benefiting from it financially. I'm benefited from it in every way imaginable except who I am. And so you end up pretending for years until you decide to do the work to discover who are you.
But you know what, Dr. Joe? The hardest part is doing that discovery.
Yes.
Because for me, man, for years, do you know how long I pretended to be someone else? I pretended to be this guy that had it all together. I pretended to be this guy. How do I say this respectfully? I had an opportunity to work with someone very, 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 very well known.
Yes, sir.
And a huge part of me had to pretend to be a part of a world that I could not relate to, that I did not really understand. And so I would pretend, sometimes pretending you're lying. Then for a while, I had to maintain that lie. That eventually one day, people found out Anthony's lying. So then now it's Anthony's a liar. No, I was pretending to get paid to perform, but then going home in my private area, I'm being my true self. But to the world, I'm pretending. And I'm like, man, at the end of the day, the lie is going to come out someday. And then I'm going to be crucified because I was trying to perform and to please people. When one day I just woke up and said, I'm done.
Wow.
I just said, I can't do this anymore. And it was hard. It was rough. I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of mentors. I lost respect from some people because it's what they said. So you lied to us the whole time. And I was like, yeah, I was pretending to be someone that part of it was me, but the fullness wasn't me.
I'm glad you said that because I don't see it as a lie, but I don't know the intricacies of the situation.
Right.
But you're in survival mode, trying to pay bills, trying to come into something in the future.
Yeah.
And so I see both sides. I understand that.
Yeah.
But that's the part that I'm talking about. When you decide to find yourself, it costs.
Yes,
it costs the identity that you created.
Yes.
It costs the connections to that identity.
Yeah.
And then it's been costing you who you really are all this time and you don't know it. And that's the pain at night.
Yeah.
The pain at night is, who am I?
Yeah.
And you can't get on a national platform and say, I don't know who I am until you've come to a point where you're absolutely drained and tired.
Yes, sir.
And I did it. I got on a platform of Bishop Jake's stage and said it. We were doing an interview on sonship.
Yeah.
And he was talking about some of the same things you're talking about. And in the middle of the conversation, we're sounding professional. We're trying to sound like who we are.
Yeah.
What we do. Let me say that. We're trying to sound like what we do.
Yeah.
And man, I just stopped and I sat back and I said, I don't know who I am. And I started crying, man. It's my 45, 46 years old, saying I don't know who I am. Now here's the immediate response from brothers after service.
Yeah.
We seen you preach thousands of people. You've coached Division I football for
That's where I met you.
20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that is who I am. That's what I do. It's what I do. That's what I do.
Joe.
And so the routine of what we do, sometimes if you don't know who you are, you sacrifice the discovery of who you are. And if you're successful, you got routines.
Yes, sir.
If you have any level of success, you waking up at 2:30 in the morning to work out. That's my schedule. 2:30 in the morning, work out at 3. From 3 to 5, I'm with my guys. It's training and it's therapeutic. After that, I'm showering and then I'm doing my morning devotional.
Yeah.
I do more things from 5 to 9 than a lot of people do from 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time we get to the office and do what needs to be done, I'm working on the next day or just a small little intricacies of people. Why can't I get that word out? Intricacies. Things that are trying to just nail in the details and get them right. And so that's my routine has always been my success. Man. But that routine also hindered me from discovering who I am.
you know what, Joel, how? And this is going to be a vulnerable session for me, because I think one of my downfalls as a single man is I always showed up in relationships with who I or what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would realize that I was performing. Then when I got into the relationship and got comfortable, the performance stopped.
Correct.
And I gave them Anthony.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, whoa.
Who is this?
Right. And then I'm like, wait, you didn't show me this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You showed me this guy. But then I think that's the case with everybody. I think women show up too, performing. Then when they get comfortable, they show you this person. How do we do that correctly, bro? Because I think there is some level of performing. But there still is, how do we still be ourselves, but give people parts of ourselves without feeling like we're giving them the wrong part of ourselves?
That's a great question, but let me answer it this way.
Yeah.
You cannot give what you don't know.
Come on, man.
Okay? So the first act of work is to do the work of finding who you are.
That's it.
So when you give this young lady Anthony, you don't even know who Anthony is. Mm-hmm. You didn't do the work to find out Anthony. You was just given the,
yes, sir. Yeah.
Take off the cape.
Yes, sir.
But you still don't even know who's behind the cape. Okay?
Right.
So we have to do the work of discovering who we are. Once we do the work, and that's kind of the hardest spot for some men.
Yeah.
Because we're not used to being alone. We're going to have somebody in every part of our journey.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to just cut all of that out.
Yes, sir.
The truth is you got to cut it out.
Yeah.
Because you got to do the work of discovering you. And you can't do that without therapy. You can't do that without self-reflection.
Yeah.
You can't do that without actually sitting down and discovering, this is the one piece we got to go to, which is when we look in the scripture and Jesus is getting ready to be baptized.
Yeah.
When he gets ready to go down in the water, he comes up out of the water. Who speaks? His father.
Yep.
What does his father say? This is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased.
Yes, sir.
That's the first key
Okay.
that you have to do when it comes to fighting to find yourself. I've got to be okay with the fact that he loves me the way I am. If I can do that, then I'm not going to look for her
Or him.
or them or that to build me to feel comfortable.
That's so good.
I got to sit in the fact, okay, wait a minute. He loves me.
Yeah.
I am his beloved.
Yeah.
When I discover that, and that takes some time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not talking about church, repeat after me, I love the Lord. I'm talking about going to therapy, sitting down with family, sitting down with friends, and actually doing the hard work of finding yourself. That's the hard work. Now, once I do that, and I come into the knowledge, and I'm paying the price of who I am, if I ask you right now, and this is a personal question.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago, you posted about the car you wanted to buy for cash. And you bought it for cash.
Yes, sir.
You saved the money for that car.
Sure did.
If I walked in here and said, man, let me have that car.
Say what?
If I said, see that?
Say what?
See, wait. See?
Whoa.
You're not giving me that car.
No, sir.
Why?
It's mine. I worked hard for it.
If you work hard to find yourself,
Ooh.
you're not going to give yourself to anybody without doing the due diligence, without doing, and that's research, without sitting down, taking time. Before I give you me, come on. That's why finding you is more important than finding anything. It's more important than finding a wife. Find you first. Once you find you, you're not going to be so quick to give the keys over. I promise you. It's when you don't know you that you give yourself to almost anything and everything.
Hey, man, you already about to make me cry, Doc. No, I'm so serious because it's like what you just said is like, man, if you work hard and do the work to really find and understand who you are, then you won't just give yourself to anyone.
You're not going to do that.
And it seems like some of the headaches that I have experienced is because I didn't do the work. And so I was just giving myself to anyone. Now, I'm not just talking about just in relationships, friendships, partnerships, business ships, mentorships, etc. And it was because I submitted myself to someone who was unhealthy And I allowed that particular person to speak into my life.
They give you your identity. That's a part of identity foreclosure.
Bro, they did. And I had the love of my life, Joel.
Wow.
And this particular person told me she's not the one because she has weave and she's dark skinned.
Wow.
I came home and just let it go.
Wow.
Walked away from it because he gave me my identity. He told me how to think. And hearing you say, Anthony, the reason why that happened is because you didn't do the work for yourself. And I trusted another man to guide me, which I believe in sonship.
I do too.
I believe in spiritual fatherhood. But I think at a point too, there still has to be a level, like you said, man, I got to do the work for me. So when the Father is speaking into my life, he's just confirming and elevating me, but he's not giving me 100% my identity.
Have you ever seen the movie Man of Steel?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember the scene when he had saved everybody, and then he says, "Look, let me take you." He said he was getting ready to defend himself.
Yeah.
He says, "No, you can't do it." He said, "Dad, what's wrong with me?" He says, "There's nothing wrong with you." Takes him down into the shelter and said, "We found you in this." All right. And he goes, "What?" He said, "We found you in this."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, am I not from here?" And he was like, "I am your father."
Yep.
He said, "But somewhere out there, you got another father." Here's what I get from that. Mr. Clark could only teach that young man how to be a Clark. He wasn't a Clark.
Yeah.
He was a Clark by association. He was a Clark as an orphan. He taught him how to farm.
Yeah.
He taught him how to just, haul hay.
Yeah.
But he couldn't teach him how to be Khalil.
No.
Because Khalil had another father
Right.
that had to tell him who he was. And it wasn't until Khalil left the Kents
Yes.
in search
Yes.
of who he was.
Right.
And then we see him as Superman.
Yep.
But he was just really Khalil, who knew who he was. We don't get Superman until Khalil finds out who he is. And then all his dad told him, he says, "Listen, you're going to be a god there."
Yeah.
He says, "Gravity is going to work for you.
Right.
You're going to be faster than everybody. You're going to be stronger than everybody. You're going to get your energy from the sun." But he got this from spending time with his father. His father tells him what he can do, and then what happens next? Because all of this is important. Khalil puts on this suit, and he jumps up to fly. Do you remember what happened the first time he flies? He crashes.
Down. Yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
Multiple times.
Yep.
He went further.
Yep.
He went further, and then his dad said, "Test it. Test your strength. Test your speed." Then all of a sudden,
That's true.
That's our lives.
That is so.
You cannot be afraid to test what God gave you. You cannot be afraid to go after the things God's. That's why you got to know you are His beloved, so that when you crash, it's not over. God didn't fail you. You're just operating with new information that you never knew you could even do. You got power.
Yes, sir.
But it doesn't come into full fruition until you access who you are, and you got to fight for that.
No. We got to go here.
All right.
Because I hear do the work. And the first part of the work is believing and understanding that God loves you who you are. But from a practical standpoint, how do we do the work? Because it's like, I think men, we have a hard time admitting that we need therapy. We have a hard time being vulnerable. We have a hard time getting in a room with men and just letting it all go. And correct me if I'm wrong, you've been married, you've been in the world longer than me. But bro, sometimes a vulnerable, soft man in today's world is not accepted in society.
A hard one isn't either. What's accepted is what you give. What's accepted is what you are relentless about. Because once you decide to be what you've been called to be, there will always be a force that will try to stop you from being exactly what you made your mind up to be. So who cares about what's accepted? Discover who you are. You said, what about the work? Here's the deal. I've said it, I think maybe 3 times already. Therapy is important.
Yeah.
Okay? You need to get a therapist, man. And I think we're almost graduating out of that cage that therapy is weak.
Yeah.
There's enough information out here, and there's enough respectable men that have come out and say they've gone to therapy.
Yeah.
So we have to graduate from that, okay? That can't be an excuse anymore. There's enough alpha males that have said, I go to therapy.
Now, what would you say to the people who say, well, therapy is expensive? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got $150 for therapy to talk to someone for an hour, or $150 to, you know, to do something that's maybe not be a bill, but I could use it somewhere else and see a true value. Like, what if people don't really see the value in talking for an hour compared to maybe going out to a nice restaurant with a friend?
Two things. A book's going to cost you anywhere from free to $39, $40, okay?
His book.
Yeah, my book.
Put that inside the show notes. We're going to put that book inside the show notes.
There are several books. All you got to do is get in your Apple piece and just Google therapy. You know, you can do that all day long, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money. So books, number one. Two, a good circle.
That's good.
Now, I mentioned to you earlier that I work out at 3 o'clock in the morning. It started out with just 2 men. We worked out together, and then that kind of grew. It grew into about 7 or 8 men. And though we get the physical benefit from it, what we get the most now is the therapeutic conversations. Because we've invested enough time with each other now that we feel safe talking about things that we would never talk about with anybody.
No, that's facts.
And so building a real community, building community is not just going into a room throwing up, but building a community where trust has been built over time with a selected group of individuals where you can actually be in a room and start healing from listening, not necessarily talking. So finding the right circle, community is very, very important. It is expensive as it pertains to you showing up, reciprocating, because you got some people that show up but won't do anything or are very inconsistent. You got to show up. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you saying no to other things because you need that accountability. All right? And because I'm Christian, I believe church, going to the right church, hearing the word of God. You don't necessarily have to get counseling from your pastor. If you pay attention to the pastor,
to his teachings.
Pay attention to the teachings. Take the notes, write those notes. And if you go to a church that's strong enough financially, they probably have access to some forms of therapy. Whether it's them providing it or referring you to someone outside that they may be able to have some type of discount.
I want to be real with you for a second. You see, we're living in a world where everybody's got advice about everything. From your finances to your mental health, even down to your relationships. But here's the thing. How do you know what actually works specifically for you? If I'm being vulnerable, I've been there. Scrolling through endless tips and tricks on Instagram and listening to relationship experts who are single on Clubhouse, feeling more confused than when I started. And that's why I started therapy with BetterHelp. And family, I gotta be honest, it was the best decision I ever made. You see, BetterHelp isn't just some app. They've got over 30,000 licensed professional therapists who actually know what they are doing. And with a 4.9 out of 5-star rating review from over 1.7 million different people, it's clear that this actually works. And here's what I love. You can literally hop on a session from anywhere. Car, your office, soccer game, wherever you need that support. And if your therapist isn't the right fit, man, this is amazing. You can switch with absolutely no drama and absolutely no hassle. Whether you're dealing with relationship issues, stress, setting healthy boundaries, or just trying to level up mentally, therapy isn't just for people with major trauma. It's for anyone, including yourself, who wants to become the best version of themselves, better fathers, wives, partners. Listen, my listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/AL. Again, that's betterhelp.com/AL. Family, please do not sleep on your mental health. You deserve that support.
And doing the work. So I've done the work, right? And in therapy, man, I realized, I want you to speak to this. I think you've had to do the work in this area as well around parents, but I realized how how my identity was formed back by my parents and I's relationship. My biological parents, which I won't say too much because I'm going to respect my parents, but you know, one of my biological parents was done wrong by my other biological parent. And when I found out, I didn't know how impactful that impacted me and how I moved forward in relationships. Because the whole time I grew up knowing my parents from a different from a different view. Then when I found out the truth, it created a level of trauma in me that I didn't even know was trauma.
Yeah.
Until I'm in therapy, and therapy says, okay, so you have parent trauma. I'm like, no, I don't. I love my parents. Never say you don't love them.
Right.
It's just that is trauma. Mm-hmm. That's why you are acting this way. That's why you run away from relationships. And I'm like, wait, what? Help us understand, bro, why it's important, because I think a lot of people do not understand. If I'm not mistaken, in the book, you talk a little bit about you and your father's relationship. How does parents' trauma impact us in our adulthood lives? That we got to do the work and understand that so we can move on.
I think if you can learn to have open dialogue with your parents.
What if you can't though, man?
You got to keep your foot on the gas until you can. Okay, so they may not want to talk, or it could be you that don't want to talk. So let's just say that's the capacity. She doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to talk. You don't want to talk. What do you get from that? Nothing.
Nothing. No.
So you already understand this is the maximum outcome of this decision. And how is that decision working for you so far? It's not. So if you want to move beyond that, then you have to know that if I don't make this decision to talk, I'm never going to go any further than this, no matter how old I get. And no matter how much money I make to give my mother a new car or to take financial burdens off her back, it's still not going to change that we can't talk.
We can't talk.
So that has to be something that you internally want to change, and you keep your foot on the gas. Now, I had built a wall up to protect myself from those feelings with my father.
Yeah.
My father's sickness is what forced me to break the wall.
Gotcha.
But what's sad, Anthony, is why did his sickness have to be the key indicator for me to break the wall?
Man.
What should have been, that was pride, man. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to feel the pain of not knowing, the pain of not understanding. I didn't want to answer certain questions. I didn't want to ask him certain questions. I didn't want to even go there. So I built this cement wall around myself so I wouldn't feel anything. But when I found out he only had maybe a month to live, and I went to spend that time with him, it was just chipping. In those conversations, I started finding out where my temper came from. I started finding out where my singing gift came from. My ability to sing prophetic songs came from. Everything
came from him.
Came from him. But we've never had those conversations. It was just kind of like, boy, you know I love you, and gone. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Yeah. That was the maximum capacity. Yeah. Yeah. But I held my father's hand. As far as we remember, and he probably did it when I was a kid. But as a grown man, I sit beside him, and he says, hold my hand, son. Man, I got on my knees. He was in a hospital bed, and I'm holding his hand. I'm 46 at that time, I think, 47, 46. I'm crying. I ain't never held a grown man's hand before.
Right.
He says these words, I'm so proud of you. Snapped me in half.
Wow.
I had a moment to either say, I want to feel this,
right.
or feel it.
Right.
I'm glad I felt it.
Man.
I'm glad I felt it. So it was either deal with the old trauma and stay locked up, or come out and grow from the trauma, feel it, and try to grow from it. Don't just stay locked up and try to protect myself from it. That isn't going to do anything for you. That's why it's called a fight. It's not easy. Yeah, it's going to hurt. There's going to be some things that you question, but you got to have those conversations. From that experience. I went back to talk to my mom. I said, Mom, tell me about this. Tell me about that. Tell me about this. Because they had been divorced for years. And my mom starts telling me, your dad was like this. Your dad was like that. These are some of the stories this happened to your dad when he was 17.
Yeah.
This was happening to your dad. I should have asked those questions when I was younger. Or maybe he should have told me those stories. I don't know. But at the end of the day, his death forced me to change how I handle my mom. So I have had some of the most serious conversations with my mother.
Wow.
And my mother's told me things that I never thought I would ever know.
Let me answer this question without getting too much into my family's business, but it is what it is. What if you have a family member that you need to have a conversation with, but when you have the conversation, it's easy for that family member to have a conversation with you, but then when it's time for you to have the conversation about them, I gotta go. I'm not doing this no more.
They don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it because they feel attacked. When it's just really, I'm not trying to attack. I'm just telling you, this is how I feel. This is what's going on in my heart. And so what we tend to do, I think a lot of us can relate to this, we'll just avoid the conversation because we know, well, they will talk. But when it's time for me to talk and give mine, they'll avoid it. But it's like, man, we want to have that conversation. And I don't want to have it on their deathbed.
Right.
I want to have it now to where I can hold your hand afterwards, to where I can hug you and cry with you afterwards so we can go out there and have a good time. But there's a conversation needs to be had, but we can't have it because you may feel a certain kind of way, but we got to hear it, but you don't want to hear it. What is the right way to get to the point to where we can have that conversation? And I call it a healthy, uncomfortable conversation. Because it's not going to be joyful. It's not going to be fun, but I believe it'll be freeing. I believe it will be challenging and uncomfortable. But it's like, man, I don't hold grudges, bro. That's just one thing about me. I think I'm the only one in my family that just doesn't hold grudges.
Wow.
Like, we can literally scream and cuss each other out. I'll come up to you right afterwards. We got it all out? Cool, great. I'll hug you. I'll get something to eat.
Wow.
But there are family members that we just can't have a conversation with. And I think it could be so freeing and so...
Here's what you can do. In this conversation...
Talk to me, please.
I go into this conversation like this, and you made a statement about, I want to hold your hand afterwards. I'm going to hold your hand during.
Ooh.
I'm going to hold the hand during, and then I'm going to do what I talk about in the last chapter of the book.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to write a new story.
Write a new story.
So I look at you and I say, Anthony, this is what I want to see happen in the future.
Okay.
You and I have not talked for years, but what I desire, and I'll have paper out, what I desire is that you and I talk, once a week, and you and I are going to start a business together and whatever it is that the new story is.
Right,
you have to pre-think it.
Yeah.
What do you see in your role in this story? Anthony, I such and such. And then take it back. Here are some of the roadblocks in the past that has kept me from having this story years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you see some of the roadblocks? It's the same conversation, but I'm attacking it from, I want a new story. And I'm tired of the old story stopping us and defining who we are.
How do you say in the old story, you hurt me?
That's a tough. Because I don't.
But let's be real. It's like some parents have either emotionally, via words, have hurt.
You don't have to use the word hurt.
Okay.
I think you can say I was disappointed from this event, and maybe I was asking too much. Maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know. Can you help me process why I received it this way?
What I hear you saying, you're coming off, do not attack.
Correct.
Ask questions.
Correct.
That puts them on a puts them in a comfortable, defensive.
Yeah, because the ones you were doing very defensive. They're ready to go. So you're disarming them.
Yeah.
You're disarming them and giving them the liberty to actually explain. Wow. Without having to fight. Because here's the deal. They know that tension is there, which is why it's already there when you getting ready to say it. That's why I disarm them. Let's write a new story together. We're destined to be together. And whatever that capacity is, we're destined. So let's write a new story on how we're going to skip over X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. And I think it's going to work for you.
No, I think even the people watching this have the same issue. Another issue that I think you can relate well with, and I knew you during this time, is back in 2021, you lost your oldest son.
Yeah, man.
And I saw you go through it.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I love about you is it's like I didn't see. How do I say this correctly? I didn't see like the perfect Joel. Like, no, you grieved. You was hurting. You were preaching, but you were crying. It was, when we're saying how to find ourselves, how did you deal with grief? Because while a lot of us may not be able to say we lost a son, maybe we lost a loved one. Maybe we lost something that was a huge part of our identity.
Yeah.
Like a job, like a career, like a husband, like a wife. How did that grief during that time, did it hinder you? Did it slow you down? Would you say a little bit from finding yourself and becoming your true self?
It took his death to help me find myself. And that's a strong statement. I don't even know if I said it right.
Man.
I'm not going to say it took his death, but his death helped me find myself. I don't think I was everything I needed to be for him. We had him early, 16 years old. And he was a great young man. And he didn't get the best of me.
Wow.
He didn't get the best of me because he didn't get the me that knew who he was.
Wow.
He got the me that was still trying to figure it out.
Wow.
And so when he passed, it gutted me. I was already fractured before he died. And then when he died, I tried to put a cast on the fracture to keep fathering him and to try to help him through what he was going through. And I don't think it was good enough. And I live with that to this day, wondering what could I have done better to help him so that he could still be alive. Grief is a monster, man.
Yes, it is.
It attacks you in waves. There are days when you think that it's all good. And then all of a sudden it comes down like an avalanche on you. Losing him, I was already fractured, showed me that I couldn't keep pretending. And that's what we kind of talked about earlier. I could preach under any kind of pressure because I would tap into the Holy Ghost and become anointed for whatever the task is. But the anointing leaves you after the task. So the anointing comes upon you for the task. So the anointing comes upon me for the task, but when the task is over, I'm still dealing with me, and I'm still dealing with the fact that I lost him. Well, I lost him and I lost my dad. So the two of them released an avalanche of emotions that I had never embraced before. All people knew of Joel was just strength. Strong. When I lost both of them, because it initiated with him. And let me tell you something. Trauma, grief can be so blinding that it'll make you forget some of the things that you should never forget. My dad was at my son's funeral. And I forgot.
What?
I was so angry with my father. God, I can't even believe I'm feeling this again. I was so angry with my father. I forgot he was there. And it took me writing the book to realize, yo, he was there. He was there. I was writing and I remembered him put his hand on my back. I was getting ready to do my son's eulogy. And I hadn't cried yet. And I went outside, out of the side door, and just didn't know what to do. And his hand was on my back, and he said, do whatever you got to do. And I just screamed, hollered. And he was right there. Grief, we all deal with it in different ways. But what I will say to you is, make sure you get some help. You don't want grief to become something that you carry around for the rest of your life, and you don't get a chance to get the tools that are necessary to help you move forward. Grief is normal, but it can become unhealthy if you don't deal with it properly.
No, I haven't lost someone like you, man, but man, when I walked away from my engagement, I was 30. I just knew that she was my wife.
Yeah.
We were together for 5 years, and some things came out in our marriage counseling that hurt me tremendously that I couldn't recover from. And I'll never forget, I was in Jacksonville, Florida. I got up. I was supposed to catch a flight out like 2-3 days later. And I drove from Jacksonville, Florida to Nashville, Tennessee, 5 hours.
Wow.
And I was hurt. I was crying. And you said grief will make you, we all respond differently. My response was, my exact words, this is me speaking, not Dr. Joe speaking. I was like, F it, I'm about to just wild out.
Yeah.
And I went out there and dated ladies, and I hurt their feelings because I was using them in my grief to cover up some things that I needed to heal from.
Yeah.
To cover up my hurt and my pain from her. And I'll never forget, one young lady looked at me and she said, I'm not her. And you're not going to use me to get over that. I'm better than that, and you need help. You need therapy. And got up and left my house.
Wow. Wow.
And when she said that, I'll never forget, the next day, I went and looked for therapy. That's the first time. My parents didn't tell me I needed therapy. My friends didn't tell me I needed therapy. But a woman who I was hurting looked at me and she said, you're grieving and you're using me to cover up something. And she was like, I'm not going to be that person. And she left.
Good for her.
She left.
She helped you.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And I hate, and I have to say this, holding myself accountable, I hate that it took that.
Yeah.
I hate that it took me hurting someone else to realize that I am hurt.
Yeah.
And that I needed some help. And that I needed to deal with my grief. Because, bro, if I'm being honest, I'm a Christian. I was like, well, okay, I can't give my wife my virginity, but I can give my wife my only need. So I'm like, okay, cool, great. Yeah, I can't give you this, but I gave you this. To only find out now why. And when I get married, I can't give you my first need, and I can't give you my virginity. What can I give you? So I felt like I'm no good of a man.
Wow.
Because my sister gave her husband her virginity and everything. Like, it was the first, right? And I'm like, what am I giving? So I felt less than because I was somewhat misled in towards the end of our relationship, and it hurt. And I was grieving. I was hurt. And so what I did as a man, for me, what I tend to do, what I don't do now, but in the past, I would try to do something to cover the hurt, sweep it up underneath the rug so I don't see it. It's still there and it's still impacting me. And I never forget. It is so funny because in therapy, I learned this, bro. Man, when my parents say clean a room, I didn't clean the room. I just put everything up underneath the bed.
Yeah.
And so one day, Joe, I'm crying, man, because one day my mom came upstairs to clean the room. And she was cleaning the other rooms, not my room. She was cleaning the other rooms because she smelled something. And she was in the room like, not in here. What is this? And she's in the other room, and she comes to my room. And she says, I'm smelling the room, son, but I don't see what I smell. And I'm like, huh? And I go up underneath the bed. Man, I got plates with ants all on it, wow. with leftover little small pieces of lasagna. And the thing is, she looked at me, she said, how did you not smell this? Well, because I got used to the smell.
You got used to it.
And I'm like, how many of us are so used to drama and to the pain that it's become so common that we consider it normal, but someone on the outside be like, no, you're hurting, you're grieving. And we're looking at them crazy when really we've just gotten so used to that. And I was like, I got so used to just living in pain and not valuing who I am. And allowing that previous situation to define me, that I was unintentionally hurting people. And I'm like, bro, hearing you say that, man, that grief and anger could just make you miss.
You miss moments. I write in the book, kind of like what you just said, there's a chapter called Fight Right. That's what it's called, Fight Right.
Yes, sir.
You know, where you everything you just talked about is in that book. In a different format.
Yeah.
We fight unhealthy. We find different ways to deal with it. And I had to figure out how to fight right, because all of that is almost the same thing I did. Going other ways to deal with it. Through people, through addictions, drinking, smoking, going out, creating other ways to fight.
Yeah.
And none of it helped.
None of it. One thing I related with you in my last question, and we can close, but two more questions. I want to talk a little bit more about your book, why people should get it. But one thing you talked about in your book, man, is at one point in time, and correct me if I'm wrong, you battled suicidal thoughts. Yeah. And I did that at 20 years old as well, sleeping in the back of my car. And I think a lot of us question, I think it was last year, man, I lost a beautiful friend. And when I say this, I mean this in the most respectful way. IG model, beautiful, gorgeous, head-turning woman. She was a fitness expert. And we would talk once a week. And then one day I woke up, I didn't get the call I normally get. She committed suicide. Actually, there in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale.
Jeez.
She super viral. I never knew she was battling. I never knew she was going on. She never told me anything. We would talk, everything would be cool, we would laugh. She would tell me what she's working out on. She would ask me questions about, YouTube and stuff like that. Then I didn't get a call one day. And I was like, well, shoot, we normally talk on Tuesday mornings. And I didn't get a call. So I thought she was just busy. Tuesday evening, it's all over social media. Never told me that she was going through. And as a friend, I was upset with her. Because I'm like, you could have talked to me. Like, I would have flew down to Florida. I would have got her boyfriend. And we all would have went there to make sure that she's good. And I think a lot of people right now, Dr. Joe, are battling that on the inside, but pretending on the outside. Mm-hmm. They don't want people to know I have these thoughts, I have these concerns, I have these feelings. What would you say to that person who is lost, who sometimes may not be all the way there, but they've had that thought of, is my life even worth it?
Number one, your life is worth living. Mm-hmm. Number two, the moment you start having those feelings, whoever you're close with, tell them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tell them you want as much as support around your life as possible. Number two, find out if you can, because I've been there and I'm going to share a couple of things. What triggers it so that you can say that to the people that you love in your life, the people that you know love you? Because there's certain things that happen that make you go there. We're strong in all these other areas, and there's this, whatever this thing is that you feel like you just can't beat, or you just you feel less than, that makes you feel like you need to die instead of live.
Yeah.
And then I think will be number 3 or number 4.
3.
Number 3, to me, if that's an issue that's repetitive in your life, then I would talk about it as much as possible until I get it out of my system. I would talk about it, and I'm not talking about doing speeches on it. I'm talking about with the loved ones that can help me take it to the next level. Because therapy is important. We need to get to therapy. So if it takes me telling Anthony for Anthony to go to a therapist, so that if you got to go with me, for me to get help through this process, I think that's important.
Yeah.
I am I think a 2-time suicide survivor. I talk about one in the book,
yes, sir,
where I took the pills, but I put a gun to my head with bullets in the clip, and the Joker didn't fire. You know,
That's God.
It didn't fire.
That's God.
And I didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
And so when I go back and I look at it, if I had somebody to talk to,
Right.
back then, I probably still wouldn't have, because I didn't have the language.
Yeah.
But today I do. Today I have the language. I would study. That's the last thing I would write down. I would study what suicide does to the survivors.
Wow.
Because you have this feeling right now, and she's gone.
Yes.
So I would study what it does to those that actually survive the incident.
Yes.
So that you can have the knowledge of, man, if I do this, this is going to destroy Anthony.
Oh, man.
This is going to destroy my mother. This is going to destroy my father, my best friends. I think it's something that's worth really diving into, because it's common.
Yes, sir.
It's very common.
Yes, sir.
I know we press for time.
No. Yeah. No, but I want to say thank you.
No, thank
for
you.
that, because I felt like I wasn't a good friend.
Wow.
We talked every week for a year. Nothing sexual. I respected her relationship. It was a big bro to a little sis, trying to help her get her platform on YouTube and blow her brand up even more. And all of a sudden, a whole year, you never showed me any signs of that. And you take your life. Nothing wrong with her boyfriend. But the letter that she wrote, which I won't say because the family hasn't released a letter, I was disappointed, man. Because I'm like, oh, we could have got through this. Like, your boyfriend loved you. He was thinking about proposing that year. Her family loved her. But she was comparing. I'm going to be quiet. But it did something to me, because I felt like I wasn't a good friend. And then I started asking my other friends, are you good? Like, I started asking,
There you go.
am I a good friend of you? Because I'm like, wait, do we need to talk?
Yeah.
And that is one thing I love about one of my closest friends, who's my pastor as well, Pastor Stephen Chandler. It's so funny because he mentors me on the pulpit. When we're in person, 10% of our conversation is about God.
Yeah.
Because I get what I need from him
On Sunday.
on the pulpit.
Yeah.
The 90%, it's man to man.
Yeah.
It's he talking to me about my life as man. I'm talking to him like, hey, bro, you straight? I'm talking about if he's struggling, man, he'll come to my house and chill. I'll come to him. We'll have a good, honest talk. Because, bro, if it wasn't for my circle, I probably would have some more suicide thoughts.
That's why the performance thing has to be flushed.
That's so good.
Because if the friendship is built on the performance, you're not gonna talk about anything personal.
Yes, sir.
You think you got to perform to stay in a circle with them.
Nah, bro.
So if you got a circle my circle, every morning, how are you?
Ooh, yeah.
That's what we ask each other. How are you? I don't care about where you just left preaching. I don't care about the business deal you just signed.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
And that's so funny, y'all, because Pastor Joel, Dr. Joel, is the guy who turned me on to Coach B. All right, because I looked at Joel one day, I felt so bad. I was big, man, when I actually was doing that conference. And I saw Joel eating eggs, grapes. He didn't touch the real sweet stuff. And I was like, how is this dude this thick and this lean looking like this? And he ain't eating. I said, Joel, I need some help. I need to get healthy. And you turned me on to Coach B. And I remember I told y'all on the show with Coach B, how Coach B called me at 3:30 in the morning it was actually Dr. Joel who called me and handed me the phone to go. He's like, hey, you ain't gonna mess up my workout, but here you go. Yeah. And I mean, bro, you're so right, because now when Coach B calls me, his very first question is, how are you? How are you?
Yeah. How are you?
I mean, I'm good, man. I'm lifting. I'm not asking about that.
How are you?
How are you, AO?
Yeah.
When we worked out a couple of weeks when he was downtown, how are you, man? Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, we gotta shoot a show. We get to it. How are you?
He gonna give you a hug too.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and let's be real, Joe. It feels different as a man.
It feels way different.
To have another man hug you.
But listen to that. That's how psychotic we've gotten. Just think about it. Just think about it. Think about it.
Bro.
So all of that, those are reasons why we commit suicide.
Bro.
We don't love each other.
No.
We can't tell each other the truth.
Yeah.
We want to hear the performance.
Yeah.
How great you are.
Yeah.
And the real stuff.
Yeah.
We shun it.
Nah, we do. I told one of my boys, I said, man, we was hanging over. I said, man, love you, bro.
What?
He hit me back. It was like, bro,
What you mean?
What's up? I was like, what you mean? It's like, because I've gotten around because I've become healthier, because I'm true to myself, I can love Dr. Joel.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I see my people going through, like, hey man, love you. I'm here for you. I genuinely, this ain't no LUV. No, bro, I love you. I love you as a brother. I got your back. And I'm here for you. And he was like, bro, he was stuttering.
Messed him up.
Messed him all the way up. I said, no, bro. For one, not in that way.
I know, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, not in that way. Yeah. But it's like, you my brother though, man.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't say that to any and everybody, but when I love you, I love you. And man, and my dad, now we embrace each other. And my dad would say, I love you.
It's beautiful.
And do you know how good that feels?
It feels wonderful.
That a man can embrace his son. Because then now, if I'm blessed to have a son, my son gonna be 50 and I'm gonna give him a...
Come on, man. That's one of the greatest signs that you found yourself and you're healing, is that you can actually be open.
Man, listen.
Be open.
The fight to find yourself, there's so many books around therapy, mental health, around this. Why would you say you wanted to enter into the conversation? What are we really going to walk away from this book that is going to be different from the other books out there that's similar to the context, but the DNA is different from your book?
The difference is there are going to be stories in this book. There's not just going to be somebody telling you what to do, giving you theory. You're going to see theory and you're going to see a survivor inside of it.
That's good.
I'm going to show you stories. I'm going to give you a peek into my life of stuff that I've never said across the stage in the world.
Wow.
And when you read it, you're going to say, that guy?
Wow.
Yeah, that guy.
Man, love it, love it, love it. Dr. Joe, appreciate you, man.
Oh, thank you.
Love you, bro. You are my brother.
Love you, man.
You know? Listen, y'all. We're going to put a... how do I say this? We're going to put his book inside of the show notes. We're also going to link to BetterHelp because I think that those of you all who are listening to this probably felt something today. And while this wasn't a money angle, if this is not good, you're going to waste your money. If this is not good, you're going to stay in debt. If this is not good, you're never going to really become wealthy. And so I want you to get my brother's book. And I also want you to go ahead and get some time with a therapist. If you go to anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp or BetterHelp.com/AO, confirm with the link inside the description. They're going to give you 20% off your first couple of sessions. Get there and just have that honest conversation. And I'll be honest with y'all. Sometimes I go in there, I cry, I scream, and I cuss. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, I'm a Christian. But at the same time, I pay them to tell them the truth. And so I don't have to perform with them because I need freedom and I want to be the best person I can for my future wife, my children, for the community, and for y'all. And so today's show went a little bit longer than normal, but I felt like it needed to. And so get a copy of my brother's book. Go check out BetterHelp. Get that freedom so you can be the best version for yourself first and then for others. Yo, it's your boy, Anthony O'Neal. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next show. Peace out.